Alright, good day to you once again. You're welcome to today's class. We're having mathematics right now, and I expect you to be attentive during the course of the class. Now, let's quickly go over the correction of our previous exercise I gave in the previous class. Now, here are the questions from question 1, question 2, and question 3. So let's quickly solve those questions as fast as we can. So now, the first question goes as: the label on a large bottle of juice states dilute the juice into 1:3 of juice to water respectively. Can you see that now? So I can come up here and say question 1. Now, anytime you are answering question for me, always number your work. It's very important. And also, you don't ignore units, especially when you are answering question in form of a theory. If it is theoretical question, you have to show us you're working very neatly, because if you didn't show it, we won't assume you know it until you prove it with your pen. Good. So now let's move into the question. We said the ratio of juice to water, so I can write juice to water is what? 1:3, isn't it? Beautiful. Now, if 10 liters of juice, if 10 liters of diluted juice is to be prepared, how many liters of water will be added? So it means we want to prepare 10 liters. Now, what is the sum of the ratio? The sum of the ratio is 4. You can come up here and say equals 4, right? But the total content you want to prepare is what? Is 10 liters. So now, you remember the logic I taught you last time? That here is what you're going to do. For juice, the percentage of the juice, the ratio of juice, the volume of the juice you're going to use is the ratio value 1 all over the total, which is 4, multiplied by what is the total volume we are preparing? That's 10. Do you understand it now? Ratio, the second one, which is water, 3 over what? 4, multiplied by total volume of juice, which is 10. Do you understand this step now? So that's how to go with the question. Very simple. So the question said, how many liters of water? So we are doing this now. So we're going to come up and say 2 here, 2 in 10, 5. So I've got 3 times 5, which is 15, divided by 2. If you solve 15 divided by 2 properly, it's going to give you nothing but 7 whole number 1/2 liters. So you can come up here and make your work more beautiful and say volume of liter that will be added, 7.5 liters of water will be what? Added to prepare how many liters? 10 liters of diluted juice. Oh, so many other things are going on here. Diluted juice. Excuse me. No. So but this is what we need from your final answer. 7.5 liters of water will be added because this is the ratio of water. So assuming the question demands that you should find the volume of juice that will be added to the water, you can just come up here and say 2 here, 2 in 10, 5. So we have 5 all over 2, which is 5 over 2 liters, which is equals to 2.5 liters. It means to prepare 10 liters of juice at the ratio of 1 to 3, as the question said, we are going to use 2.5 liters of juice in addition to 7.5 liters of water. So you mix it together, then you have 10 liters of diluted juice. Is the question difficult? I don't think so. So this is the working for this question here. We're going to come up here and say equals to 7.5 liters of what? Of water. Simple as A, B, C. All right. If you can permit me to erase all this, so let me write it again. We have 7.5 liters of water. Beautiful. Now, question 2 says you were given $1,000 as a gift. So let's say during this break, maybe you're just giving the gift of $1,000. Your mom asked you to share it within you and your cousin, brother or sister, in the ratio of 4 to 6. This is what I need. So you can come up and say, me. This is question number 2 now. Me, ratio, cousin. So whenever you're answering ratio question, I want you to state this out. You understand it now? What you are dividing between who? You and your cousin. Good. In the ratio of what? 4 to 6 respectively. See, this was included. 4 ratio 6. Are you getting that now? So now, what's the sum of this? The sum of the ratio is 10, right? See, now, very simple. The question now says, what will be the amount that your cousin will have? Very cheap. You just come ahead and say 4. This is mine. That's yours now. 4 divided by total ratio multiplied by what are you sharing? Total amount 1,000. Ratio. Can you see that now? 6 all over 10. That's for your cousin now. Multiplied by the same amount that you're both sharing. 1,000. Very easy. No stress, no headache. So you're going to say 10 in 1,000, you're going to get 100. So here also 10 in 1,000, you have 100. So you're going to say you will have $400 because you're going to say 4 times 100. That will give you 400 what? Dollars. Excuse me. Then ratio 6 times 100, we're going to have $600. So you can come up and say cousin. Cousin, we have what? Cousin. Oh, excuse me. Cousin, we have how much? Cousin, we have, excuse me, have how much now? $600. Final answer. So you're going to come up here and say put $600. Final answer. Very easy, so cheap. And this was our previous answer. Is it difficult? No. But if you ask how much will you have, that's $400 according to this ratio, 4 to 6. See, ratio is not a difficult topic. Brilliant. So now let's top up the screen. Oh, we got 7.5 here of water. While we have, or let's, okay, let's, we have, what do we even calculate here? $600 for cousin. Right? Good. Now, question number 3 says, in a class of 45 pupils, let's say in a school now, we have the class 45 pupils, the ratio of boys to girls, now boys to girls, right? Now, always write it out first. Can you see what I'm doing now? Question number 3. Boys to girls is 5:4. 5:4 respectively. What is the number of the boys in the class? Very cheap. Come on, let's solve this, man. 5 plus 4, 9. So total ratio 9. You see the way I'm solving my own? Very neat and nope, rough works. 5/9 ratio, now multiply by total number of pupils in class 45. You see that? Ratio, put ratio here also, ratio 4/9. That's for girls now, 4 over the total number, multiply by how many pupils in class? That's 45 pupils in class. So 9 here, 1, 9, 5, we've got 5 here. And 9 here again, and 9 here, we have 5 again. Very easy. So we're going to say 5 times 5 for the boys now. The boys will be 25 in class, while the girls will be 20 in class, because 4 times 5 gives us 20. So you come up and say boys equals to 25 pupils, while the girls equals 20 pupils. You know, pupils are like students, a young student. So now, one thing that you always have at the back of your mind to be sure of your answer is that when you add up all the total number together, it must give you exactly the total number of pupils. So now, take for instance, if you now add up these two now and it's giving you 60 or 50, you should know that there's a problem somewhere. So you go back to the question. Do you understand it now? So the question says, what is the number of the boys in class? So this is the number of the boys in class. But if they ask you for the girls, you can include this. But if they didn't ask you for the girls, you know what you're gonna do? Just pick your eraser and wipe this off. Simple. So this is the final answer you want to see. That's when you're having this a question as examination. I'm sure you understand this, please. Brilliant. So now let's move into the next slide for today. So our topic for today is proportion. Can you see that now? Proportion. Now what is proportion? In the previous class we talked about ratio. We said ratio is a comparison of two quantities. We were able to establish this last time that quantities means something that has size and you can measure it, right? Like juice, like pupils, like fruits, like apple, things around you that can measure. That's what quantities. So when you compare them by division, you have performed what is called ratio. Now we said it last time that if the ratio of A to B can be written as A ratio B or A over B, where your B is equals to 0. Can you see that now? Because anything divided by 0 is actually an error for your level. Now let's put it that way. Now ratio that name the same comparison is said to be equivalent. Can you see that now? If two ratios are having the same if they have the same comparison, they are known to be equivalent. So that's not what I'm talking about anyway. Now a statement that has two ratios are equivalent, such as 1/12 equals to 2/24. Can you say this now? 1/12 equals to 2/24. This is called a proportion. What do I call it? Proportion. Whenever you have a statement in a ratio, take for instance, if you have something like this, 1:12 equals to 2:24. So if this is equals to this, that's if these two ratios, they are the same, if they are equivalent, you understand it now? If they are equivalent, if they are the same, we call them proportion. What do I call it? Proportion. So that's what we are going to do today. Now, if any of these four values are missing, probably you can be required to find them out. So you're going to use what is called a ratio proportion method. That's what I'm going to discuss with you today. You're going to find the missing digits by just cross multiplying and find your what is it called now? Missing value of the ratio for the other side. Do you get what I'm saying? Good. All right, now let's continue. Sorry for the break. Now let's go into some calculations on proportion. Can you see that now? Some calculations on proportion. Now the question says find the value of x in this proportion of ratio. Okay, we're giving some question. Here should be this, please. Sorry, let me correct it. This is not correct. The correct one should be THESA. Excuse me, let me write it clearly, because these are plural, these are more than one. So now find the value of x in this proportion of ratios. Now 3:5 equals to 9:x, x:6 equals to 4:3, 9:3 equals to x:5, and then 2:x equals to 1/1. Now anytime you come across questions like this, you have to find the value of x. X can be any alphabet. These are the unknown in each of these questions. Can you see that now? So they can come up represented with any alphabet. Some they can put it with G, some with H, some with K, any alphabet. So all these alphabets, when we get to algebra section of mathematics, I'm going to introduce your knowledge to the fact that variables are what? Unknown integers. Do you understand it now? Don't worry, when we get there, we're going to explore more. But anytime you see x in the mathematical equation, sometimes they are not multiplication sign, but they are variables. So there's a difference between this and this. Are you getting it now? It's because of computer that wrote it like multiplication. It's not multiplication. This is x, just like this in mathematics. Do you understand it now? So now let's get over this and let's solve out this question. Very cheap and easy. So now pay attention. The first question says 3/5. Do you agree with me? Because 3:5 is equals to 3/5. I've told you that earlier, right? Now equals to 9/x. So, but before you write this, you know that above here we can have it as 3/5 equals to 9/x. Excuse me. Now when you break it down, it's going to be 3/5 equals to 9/x. What are you going to do? You can cross multiply. That's the logic behind it. Cross multiply means the numerator, you see this is the left hand side and this is what? Right hand side. So you multiply numerator of this fraction. Can you see that this is the numerator? The numerator is a number above a fraction division line. Can you see that now? These are numerators, while these are the denominator. So the numerator on this side will multiply x, while this numerator on this side will multiply the denominator on the left hand side. So that's what coming by cross multiply. Left hand side, right hand side multiply themselves alternatively. So now we've come to our excuse me, sorry. Sorry for the break, please. Now we're going to have this as 3 times x, which is 3x equals to 9 times 5, which is equals to 45, right? Isn't it? Good. So now we are going to find for x equals to 45 divided by 3. Do you understand what I'm doing? You will divide both sides by the coefficient of the variable, which is 3. So you divide both sides by 3. So you can have this as the, and bring it down here. Do you understand it now? So x equals to, because 3 we cancel out 3, so x equals to 45 divided by 3. So 3 in 4, 1, remaining 1. 3 in 15, 5. So we have final answer to be 15. So the value of x here, you can say x equals to 15. Is it difficult? I don't think so. I'll go over it again. 3 ratio 5 equals to 9 ratio x. The next step, 3 over 5, you're going to say 3 over 5 equals to 9 over x. Can you see that now? Then you cross multiply left hand side. The denominator will go and meet the numerator in the left hand side, while the right hand side, the denominator will go and meet the numerator. So you have it as 3x, 3 times x, 3x equals to 9 times 5, which is equals to 45, right there. Now the rule is you divide both sides by 3. Why are we dividing both sides by 3? The rule of algebra is that anytime we have a coefficient, what is a coefficient? The coefficient is a number behind an alphabet. Behind. Can you see that now? This 3 is the one standing behind x. So you're going to divide it by, you are going to divide all through by the coefficient. What is the coefficient? So the number behind the alphabet, which is the unknown that we're looking for. That's x. So you divide all through by 3. You divide this side also by 3. Do you understand it now? So 3 cancel 3, we are left with x. X equals to 45 right here divided by 3. This gives us nothing but 15. Final answer is 15. Do you grab it? Good. Let's do number 2. Number 2 says x ratio 6 equals to 4 ratio 6, right? Beautiful. I love this. So you can just come up and say x over 6 equals to 4 over 6. Please, without using calculator, without using biro, with just your eyeballs, can you tell me what the value of x? Is too cheap. The value of x is nothing but 4. Yes. Denominator is the same thing and numerator is also the same thing, especially in proportion. That's what we are talking about. That what is by the left hand side of a ratio this way is proportional to what is here. What is here is proportional to what is here. Do you understand it now? So don't need to solve anything. And if you decide to solve, no problem. It's very simple. 6 times, you cross multiply here. So you say 6x equals to 6 times 4. That's nothing but 24, right? So you're going to divide both sides by the coefficient of x, which is 6. So it says divided by 6, divided by 6. 6 cancel 6. We are left with x. X equals to 24 divided by 6 gives us nothing but 4. Final answer is 4. So you come up here and say x equals to nothing but 4. Very simple, right? Beautiful. So now the next thing we're going to consider is number 3. The board is full. Can you permit me to wrap up some? Okay. We said x here. X here is what? 4. While x here is 15. Right? Excuse me. But you can rewind the video to check out some of those workings. Do you understand it now? So the next step of action, we're going to number 3 now. Number 3 says 9 ratio 3 equals to x ratio 5. Can you see that now? This is ratio symbol, excuse me. Good. Now we are doing calculation on proportion. You still remember now? Good. So 9 divided by 3 equals to x divided by 5. Very cheap. Yeah. So easy. So this value of unknown, can you see that now? It can stay in anywhere of this question. That's what I just want to picture to your mind. Now, what are we going to do? Cross multiply. Cross. Excuse me, let me erase this and write it neatly. Cross multiply. Cross multiply. So let's go back now. Cross multiply, we have 3x, 3 times x, 3x equals to 9 times 5, that is 45. Easy, right? X equals to 45 divided by 3. You remember the previous ones I did? Just divide both sides by the coefficient. This number is called coefficient. This is spelling coefficients. Don't worry, when we get to algebra, this will be in algebra section. We're going to explore better when we get to algebra. But we're just borrowing that into this question. So x now will be equals to nothing but what? 15 as well. Easy, isn't it? X equals to 15. Please, are you following the way I'm doing this? Is it difficult? I don't think it's difficult. Now, number 4. Let's do number 4 here. Number 4 says 2 ratio x equals to 1 ratio 1. Let me write it clearly and neatly. This writing is not too presentable. Okay. 1 ratio 1. That's amazing. So 2 over x equals to 1 over 1. Can you close your eyes and tell me the answer? Just 2 seconds. Final answer of x is what? I think it's 2. Well, you might not believe that. How do we get it? 2. Because what is on my left hand side should be proportional to what is on my right hand side. On one condition, if the numerator and the denominator are the same, definitely the one by the left hand side, you see this? 1 over 1. Then 2 over 2 will also be the one by the left hand side. But if they are different, like 9 over 3, that one is different, so this one is also different from 5. Assuming this place now, this is 3. You don't need to do all this solving. You just come out, okay, if the denominator are the same, then the numerator also must be the same. That's what we call proportion in ratio. So if this numerator of this side 1 ratio 1, then this is 2. Definitely x also should be 2 because it repeats itself here. 1 over 1, 2 over 2. Then we have a balanced proportion. But to prevent arguments, we can go ahead to solve in a conventional way by doing what? Cross multiply. That's x times 1. We have 1x. But when you get to higher class in algebra, I don't write 1x for you. We write it as x because that's just a constant on its own. 1x equals to 2. Right? So you're going to come up and say divide both sides by 1. Divide both sides by 1. So final answer we have x because 1 cancels 1, isn't it? X equals to any number over 1 in mathematics is that number. U over 1 is u. So do you understand it? So we have final answer here to be 2 without doubt. So x here equals to 2. Final answer. So these are the workings. Are you getting it now? These are the workings. So, and I want you to go over it again. If you don't understand, you can take the video back and try to listen to it again and study it up. It's very simple, very easy. So, in the absence of no more questions, I'm going to give a questions as exercise. Here is it. So you're going to find the missing values in this proportion. What does that mean? Can you see that we've changed some things here? K, here comes K now. This is K. We no longer use X here. This is K, Y, and this is B here. So these are the values you're going to solve up. So find the missing values in these proportions. The first one, the second one, the third one, and the fourth one. Very simple. Thank you. That will bring us to the end of this section. I hope you learned something today. Beautiful. Thank you. See you in the next class.